It has not been very easy, honestly, because there aren't that many places where you can learn about meat. Maybe you find a seminar or course here, but you really have to be self-taught.
Right.
Welcome to MeatsPad. In collaboration with the American Meat Science Association, it's a platform dedicated to share breakthrough knowledge that is accessible to the global meat industry. On each episode, you'll have the opportunity to listen and learn from meat specialists and professionals about the whole meat industry. This podcast is brought to you by the U.S. Meat Export Federation, Ultrasource, equipment and supplies for the meat and food industry, Viscofan collagen casings, the best alternative to animal gut casings for a better taste and sustainable sausage making.
Hello, meat folks. Welcome back to the MeatsPad podcast. Today we continue these conversations with meat industry leaders, not only in the U.S. but also globally, and it's our commitment to showcase, to share some of the knowledge that is happening worldwide. And we're just wrapping up Spanish Academy. This was an episode that we did a while ago with some folks that came from South America, Mexico, Central America. Today, I have the honor to introduce Dr. Maria Luisa from Peru. She's from a company named Esmeralda Corp. I had the opportunity to be there with them for a couple of times when helping them with some of the projects. They kill beef and hogs, and also have some value added and even pet food. But we've been here in Academy for 2 days and a half, and we're wrapping up on a Thursday. But what do you think? I think that's for the folks also that want to get some insight on what we do. I mean, we typically do similar products that with the U.S. Academy and the Spanish Academy, a little bit of differences as far as the product that they're looking for in Mexico or Central America or South America. But I think we can just briefly, I want to know, what do you think about this 2 days and a half, and what are you coming back home to? I guess, what are you getting home out of this short course?
It was really interesting. It was really interesting because you're mixing theory with practice. And so you know that people who are here are involved in the sector. So you have to remember about what you studied and what you've done and mix that with technology and with the technical team that they have here, which is just a wonderful technical team. And definitely you come out of this quite enriched.
You're a veterinarian, right? That's your profession, but
Yes, I am a veterinarian. I've always loved sciences. I thought I was going to study human sciences at first, but along the way I decided on something else, and that was because of an operation that one of my pets had to undergo. So I went with the veterinarian and I changed. I changed my degree and I wasn't even sure what I was going to do when I was done my degree because there's just so much that you can do depending on the species that you decide to specialize in. But you always have to practice in different places than where normally you get sent by the university. And so the company that I work with currently, I started working with them when I got out of university. So it's fun, it's interesting, it's always enriching. And I think that what continues to motivate me to continue on this path is that no 2 days are the same. And you can always be doing things in a better way. You can always be doing more. When you're here, you have these doors that open. You can continue to convert things within the chain, within the value chain. You start with a live animal, and it's not just about cutting them into pieces of meat. It's turning them into completely processed products that are delicious, and those are cold cuts.
for sure, and we have discussed many times about empowering women, and how we in the meat industry sometimes there's I mean, especially in those processing or queue floors, like a lot of men on there. But in your case, I mean, I like what you told me, like when you started working in this company, um, I mean, you started at the Q floor, stunning hugs. So it's tell us a little bit about this experience. And I mean, I have girls in my family, daughters, three daughters, and I try to tell them, hey, you can do this, you can do that. I mean, the possibility is there, and I think I love to hear from you what it was like the beginning in your career.
It has not been very easy, honestly, because there aren't that many places where you can learn about meat. Maybe you find a seminar or course here, but you really have to be self-taught. Or maybe you're learning from a magazine. But 20 years ago, it was even more complicated. We didn't have the boom that we do now in communications. So you really did have to search hard to find information. And I found the possibility to go to AIRTA, and I did a complete course over there. That was in 2005. And so it's really interesting to see the contrast between before and now. And then the thing is that there isn't really anywhere to study meat, like I was saying. And then again, being a woman in a sector that is pretty limited for women. Today, not as much, but it continues to be a man's business. And back then, it was even more so. And it was quite strange to see women in charge of things in the meat industry. Today, no, 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 no. Today, we're seeing a lot more participation on behalf of women. We see that women are also very much in the quality area, in research and development areas in the meat sector. So this has changed, and it's going to continue to change.
And I think it goes back to your parents, right? And I had this conversation again with another woman in Mexico a while ago, and how she was raised, and how her dad, how her parents raised her. It's just what makes you think. I mean, I can do whatever I can, right? I mean, in terms of profession, and I think it is very valuable for me if you can tell us a little bit about this and how what keeps you moving.
Since 1883, Ultrasource has been a trusted supplier to the food industry. Ultrasource provides superior kill floor, processing, packaging, and labeling equipment and operational supplies.
Yes, I mean, I think it really depends on each person. There's nothing better than knowing how to do something so that later you can teach others how to do it, but you need to know how to do it yourself. And so, because of that need and wanting to improve back then, yeah, we did. We used the stun gun. We had the stun guns from back then, and it was even fun sometimes. But I had the help of the person I was working with back then, who was my boss and who is now my colleague, Mr. Carlos Alberto Watson. And he facilitated things so much for us to be able to do those types of things. I think don't deny yourself the possibility of doing something different just because you're a woman. And that's something that we need to think about. But I think that, the way is opening up. I mean, I came in as a veterinarian to the factory and I had to classify animals. And then I was like, okay, now what? And then you start doing something else. And then you learn how to do it. And then you go to the next one. And then HACCP also was coming into play at that time. Now it's super common, So first I was in charge of sanitary measures, then I was head of the production line, then I was head of operations, and now I am manager of the meat products at Esmeralda. I always heard from my father, you have to study. That's it. You have to learn. You have to understand, you have to know how things are made and never stop studying. And my mother, I don't know if she was always saying just do it or just do it in another way. So it was sometimes sort of ironic because you'd be knitting and then there would be one little problem and then you'd have to unknit it and take it apart. and do it again because you had to do it properly. You had to do it well. So, don't give up. That was a big lesson. Keep going forward. Keep going even though things don't seem to be very good. And you have to persevere. This was always very important at my house. And then you also need to have limits. I'm a mother now. My son Joaquin is 15 years old. It seems like not true, but I mean, his father is like, do not give everything to children. Put limits, put boundaries. Teach them that everything has a value. And that's how we educate our children starting when they're very young, so that they know that there are limits and that each thing costs. And it doesn't cost only money, it costs effort. Or it costs effort to be able to have the opportunity to make something. And so little by little, you continue to grow. You continue to grow, watching the example of your parents.
And sometimes it's the most difficult part. Sometimes you are aware of these things, but is reality. Sometimes you're doing it because you're going with the flow, and sometimes you don't stop and see like, okay, I want this or I want that.
Sometimes you're not there, sometimes you're not there. Yeah, you work these days, and that means you can't be at home. And before, women used to be at home with the children. And now the woman leaving the home means that they don't have that attention. But then we also have to talk about the quality of time that you spend with your child. You have to totally be dedicating yourself over to them during the time you spend with them.
Please tell us a little bit about your background. I think this always want to ask that question about what you do in your company.
I am manager of one of the units of the meat products unit. And basically, I'm in charge of leading this unit. I always say that it's my job to be behind them in the situation and looking forward to see where we're going. I feel like I'm that path breaker, finding out which way we're going to go, how we're going to develop our product lines, how we're going to maintain the situation that we have and the chain. And for me, I also have to create a team that can work and be coordinated with each other and have that technical part and also the human part. You have to know how to do things, but you also have to have that gift of knowing how to consider other people that you're working with. And that's very important because it's their hands that are doing the process. And that's one of the values that we have at La Esmeralda, is that we really value our people. We take care of our people. And you have to understand where you are. And you have to link up, have the company's values link up with your values. Because if not, the relationship is just not viable. I believe that it depends on each person as well to earn trust from others. People, I think I heard this said once, that we are the sum of the red little balls and the black little balls that we have been accumulating. And so the red little balls are areas where we had success, and the black balls are ones where we didn't. So obviously we need to have more red little balls than black little ones. So it's important, that relationship, the trust, that also depends on you. How do you show that? How do you develop it? And that's what enables you to dream a little bit about what you want. And that's priceless. That's priceless. And you start building it up. You start getting trust. You start showing that you deserve trust. And you also see the values that you share with the company. And so at Esmeralda, we are all very passionate about what we're doing. We're very creative and flexible. And those are our values, and we try to have them bring us together and work so that we can be a good team. We're a number of different units for processes, and we have a number of different managers. And I think that's what we do, is we bring that vision with us and carry it forward. That's the mission that we have with every single person who we work with, and we go forward just as long as God allows it.
Thank you very much again for your time. I think it is also always good to learn about the attendees of this academy and the people that are coming from other countries and learn more about what we do here in the U.S.
Yes, without saying too much, what is coming? We're developing products. Yes, that's what's coming. We're developing products, we're doing it and getting new products, and the sky's the limit. In terms of meat matters, the sky is the limit. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invite. It's been such a pleasure to be here with you. And again, to you, Francisco, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you again for your trust and for coming all the way from Peru.